Chairman, Angelica Haro.
My partnerships, my team, I love our team, this team conquers the house. This event is about your turning point, and there's many things that happen to you in your life that make you go a certain direction, make you make different decisions, and I want to share some of those turning points with you today, and I've had many. Share a little bit about my background. I come from a big family, 11 brothers and sisters, and my parents migrated here from Mexico a long time ago. We came here to the United States, and of course they were poor. We lived in a 5-bedroom apartment. Yes, all 13 of us lived in a 5-bedroom apartment. Of course, property management didn't know that because we'd probably be kicked out. But there was a significant event that happened to me when I was 8 years old, and I haven't shared this story with very many people, but I remember, and I'm going to get a little bit emotional, but I remember getting off the school bus one day. And when you live in a low-income community, there's always kids that don't go to school. And I remember these kids running up to me when I got off the school bus and said, Angelica, your mom left you guys. Your mom left. I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, we saw your sisters chasing her down the street. She left you guys. She left you guys. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I go running into our apartment complex, and sure enough, my sisters are crying on one side of the couch, and my dad's crying on the other side of the couch. And I just walk in, and I say, please tell me it's not true. My mom didn't leave, right? She didn't leave. Why would she leave us? Why would she leave us? And I just remember my dad hugging me, looking at me in the eyes, and saying, I promise that I will never leave you guys, and I promise that I'm going to do everything in my power so that you guys have a better life, so that our family moves forward. And you know what? Being 8 years old, it's a little tough to lose your mom. To have her 1 minute hugging you, kissing you, encouraging you, telling you that everything's okay, to not having her anymore. But you know what that did? It didn't bring me down. A lot of people will say, you know what? That's why I'm a failure in life. That's why I'm not as successful. They make things as an excuse, but I made that as an excuse of why I was going to win, why I was going to become somebody big. My entire life, I saw my dad work so hard and sacrifice so much. My sisters, you know, I saw them giving up their careers. One of them was going to nursing school. The other ones were going to cosmetology. They had to get double jobs to make sure that we had food on the table. I saw that hard work around me, and I just said, you know what? Man, I want to be somebody big. I'm always going to be a hard worker. And you know, when I grew up, I went to college. I got my Bachelor's of Science in Business, and then I started working for a commercial real estate company. I became a marketing director there. Then I went off and I found mortgages, and man, I thought, man, this is it. I started making close to $1 million a year in mortgages, and being in your mid-20s, that's actually pretty good. So I thought I was going to be able to retire my dad with that. I started purchasing a bunch of real estate, and unfortunately the market dropped, and I wasn't able to do that. Thank God somebody spoke to me about WFG. I started the business in February of 2008, and I remember the guy that brought us into the business. His name is Randy Sicaros. I remember him sitting my sisters and I down and saying, you guys have to attend this convention that's going to happen. It's in March. Back then conventions were in March. You guys have to attend it. There's so many great speakers, but there's one speaker in particular that I want you guys to listen to. He has an amazing story. He's a great talker. He's a little arrogant, but he's great. But I want you to listen to him. He's one of the top Latinos right now in the company. His name is Haro. And you know what? Sure enough, 2008 changed my life forever. I came to that event, and a lot of you guys are sharing these emotions. You come to these events, and you're excited, you're fired up, you cry, you laugh, you get some anger built inside of you because you have some competitive edge that it should be you getting recognized. And sure enough, I went to that event, and there was a lot of great speakers, but there was one speaker that impacted me and that hit home. And that was Angelica Haro. I remember my sisters and I were in the back of the room, and we were crying when he was sharing his story. He talked about walking into someone's home where his mom was on her knees cleaning somebody else's toilet, and he said, damn it, that's not going to happen anymore. And that he went out there and retired her. That one Mother's Day, he was able to bring driving a white truck with a big red bow on it, and he brought it to a Mother's Day event, and she fainted of the excitement and how excited she was that he was able to do that for her. I remember WFG doing a magazine spread on his home, that he had purchased a dream home. It was just, he talked about being from Zacatecas, Mexico, being born on a dirt floor with no college education, but that he had found a company that was able to allow him to fulfill some of his dreams. It was just awesome. I was so inspired, and I went back after that event. I already believed in WFG. My first PM that I went to, I fell in love. I knew that the mission was there. I knew that what we did, families needed it, but it was that event that changed and made my decision to plant my flag. I became a broker, a senior marketing director 4 or 5 months after that event. You know what's so awesome? That I was able to sit my father down and say, you know what, Dad, all those hard years that you worked, you know that mortgage that you paid, those bills that you pay every single month, you no longer have to pay that, because I really found a business that's gonna allow me to retire you. Every month since that day, I've been able to send my dad a retirement check. You know how great it is not to have a dream come true, for it not to be a dream no more, for it not to be a wish and a want and a goal, but to achieve it. That's what this company does. You know, I'm blessed. At that same event, I was also able to meet Guillermo Haro for the very first time. Before I was Mrs. Haro, and man, he tried courting me. He set his eyes on me, and he followed up, and he'll tell you that the fortune's in the follow-up, right? And let me tell you, I tested his closing skills. Because he couldn't close me for a while, and finally he was able to close me, and it's just been a blessing. It's been a true blessing to be able to be in business with your significant other. You know, we just got back from Brazil. We went to go watch the World Cup, and originally it was going to be a trip that him and I were going to take. And I just couldn't imagine going on this trip without my son, so we looked into it, and it was going to be about $10,000, an additional $10,000 to take him and a nanny. But because WFG has taught us how to save money and not spend our money foolishly, live a good life, but save a lot of your money, we were able to do that without a problem. And I'll end with this. Coming back from Brazil, I had him prepped for my talk for convention. I was really nervous, and so Valentino was sleeping. He was sleeping on my lap. And I was going to start writing my talk, and I turn around to him and I say, thank you. Thank you for never quitting. Thank you for the life that we have. Thank you for building a big organization. Thank you, Ed and my lab, for ingraining in you. Build a team, G. Don't be a personal producer. Recruit a monstrous team. Thank you, Ed, for having that talk with him at Carol's that changed his life. Honey, you have changed your life, and I'm so blessed. I'm the happiest I can ever be, and let me tell you something. I can't guarantee you anything in this business. I can't guarantee that you're going to be successful. I can't guarantee anything, but I could guarantee you one thing, that if you quit, your dreams will never come true. I'll see you guys at the top.